title. I gave my parents a luxurious 1-week trip to Europe with me, but when I picked them up for the airport, they told me they were going with my jobless sister instead. My mother smiled. Your sister needed some rest, so we decided to take her. I didn't say anything. However, when they landed in Europe, the departure terminal was packed with vacationers hauling roller bags and excitement. I stood near the curb, car idling, triple-checking the flight itinerary I'd spent 4 months planning. Every detail was handled, from hotel bookings and skip-the-line museum passes to dinner reservations overlooking the Seine. This was going to be our trip. A thank you gift to my parents after years of sacrifices, all on me. I'd picked them up from the airport dozens of times before, but this time, I was taking them somewhere unforgettable. Europe. For a full week. Everything prepaid. Everything first class. They walked out of the terminal with smiles. But something felt off. My mom was walking ahead, luggage in one hand and phone in the other. My dad was chatting animatedly, but not with her. With someone else. My sister. Melanie. She wasn't supposed to be here. She lived at home, bounced between career breaks, and spent most of her days recovering from burnout by watching Netflix and ghosting job interviews. But there she was, laughing, wheeling her own suitcase. And then my mom delivered it like a joke. Oh, sweetie, change of plans. Melanie's coming instead. Isn't that fun? I blinked. Instead of who? She smiled, as if I was being silly. Instead of you. I didn't speak. Not yet. Your sister really needed this. She hasn't traveled in years, she added. You're always so busy, and she's just been exhausted. My dad gave a supportive nod, clearly proud of this compromise. Melanie didn't even look at me. She just laughed and said, "Thanks again for the tickets, sis." I stood still while they loaded into the car. I dropped them off at the gate, handed them their passports, watched them disappear through the glass doors without a single flicker of guilt. They took my generosity, my effort, my gift, and handed it to the one person who had never lifted a finger to earn any of it. And I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I smiled and waved goodbye. Then I drove home and began planning something much more memorable. By the time their plane landed in Paris, my parents and Melanie were posting selfies on Facebook. Made it to Europe. Family bonding time. First croissant in Paris, thanks to our amazing daughter. They didn't even tag me. No mention. No thank you. Just our daughter. That could have been either of us, right? Except only one daughter had paid for the trip, and it sure wasn't the one drinking wine at 11 a.m. in a silk headscarf bought with my money. But what they didn't know was that I hadn't just paid for the trip. I still controlled everything. The flights, the hotel reservations, the local tours, the credit card holding the bookings. They hadn't checked, because they assumed I wouldn't make a scene. They were right. I wouldn't make a scene. I'd make a statement. That night, while they were asleep in the luxury suite I'd reserved under my name, I logged into the booking app. I canceled the chauffeur service to the coast, rescheduled the cooking class to a date after they'd returned home, downgraded their hotel to a noisy, poorly reviewed budget option on the outskirts of town. But I wasn't done. I flagged the account for unauthorized traveler substitution with the hotel's international fraud division. Since I was the account holder, and Melanie was not, the alert triggered immediate review. And when they came back to the hotel from their sightseeing day, their access cards didn't work. Luggage locked in. Hotel management waiting with a clipboard. That was just day 2. They called me. Twice. I didn't pick up. Melanie texted first. WTF? The hotel said you reported us? We got moved to this awful place. Then my mom. Claire, please, you've made your point. We'll talk when we're back. But I wasn't trying to make a point. I was starting a lesson. One day at a time. One petty little switch at a time. And they had 5 days left. Day 3 of their trip began with another Instagram post. Melanie had managed to find a new cafe and snapped a selfie over overpriced espresso. "You can't break a real queen. Paris life chose me." The caption was bold, but the bags under her eyes, those told a different story. Because I had already canceled their Seine River dinner cruise, notified the tour company of a booking scam, which paused their museum passes, froze the emergency credit card they'd started using for incidentals, and it wasn't even Thursday. At first, they tried to play it off. The hotel must have made a mistake. The card company flagged something weird. We'll figure it out. But by the time their Versailles tour was declined at check-in, reality started sinking in. They weren't on vacation. They were at the mercy of the one person they had dismissed, disrespected, and replaced without hesitation. My mom left a voicemail that night. Her voice sounded different. No more confident condescension, no tight smile in her tone. "Claire, we really didn't mean to hurt you. We thought Melanie needed it more. You always handle everything so well." That line, "you always handle everything," the same excuse they'd used since I was 15, and Melanie forgot to buy Grandma a birthday gift. The same line they leaned on when I worked 2 jobs and still managed to send money home. That line wasn't a compliment. It was permission. Permission to keep using me. I didn't reply. I just moved on to the next thing. The return flight. Booked under my travel rewards account. Flexible dates. Fully editable. I changed their return flight to 48 hours later, economy class, with a 13-hour layover in a budget airport lounge. I didn't cancel the flight. I simply made it feel as inconvenient as their betrayal. On day 5, Melanie posted a photo with no caption, no smile, no glam, just a hotel hallway and a vending machine. I screenshotted it and saved it in a folder called Rest She Deserved. They wanted to cut me out of the memory, so I rewrote the memory without comfort. They were still in Europe, but the version of the trip they stole from me, that version was gone, just like my patience. They landed at JFK looking like they'd survived something, not experienced something. Melanie's tan had faded. My father's voice, once booming in group chats, was now quiet in text. My mom tried to post a grateful for time together picture on Facebook. No one liked it. They didn't know it yet, but word had started to get around. About the trip, about the switch, about who paid for what. Grandma had told Aunt Rita, who told Uncle Dave, who wasn't known for discretion. "She gave them a trip," he said, "and they gave it to Melanie? Are you kidding me?" They came home to silence, not just from me, from everyone. The day after they got back, my mother sent flowers, peonies, my favorite. The card read, "Let's talk. We miss you. Let's make things right." I didn't respond. Instead, I mailed them something back. Not flowers, an invoice. It was clean, professional, numbered. 1-week luxury European package. Includes first-class flights, hotel upgrades, tour packages, transportation, meals, service fees, and personal time lost. Total, $18,745. Underneath, in italics. Since this trip was gifted under false pretenses and reassigned without consent, the full balance is now due. Due in 30 days. No reply. Then, I went further. I reached out to the rewards travel concierge and revoked their access to the companion flyer program that had saved them hundreds. I flagged them as unauthorized users on my points accounts. I even contacted the cruise line we were going to book for next summer and updated the guest list. Guess who didn't make the cut? Tyler, a cousin on our dad's side, messaged me. "You iced them hard," I replied. "They made it easy." And just to be sure the silence was understood, I blocked their numbers the day the invoice expired. No reminders, no collections, no final warning. They wanted me to feel forgotten. Now they knew what it actually looked like. The funny thing about being used, once you stop letting it happen, people don't know who to be around you anymore. The week after the invoice expired, I started getting secondhand messages. They're hurt. They didn't know you'd take it this far. Your mom said she made a mistake. I didn't answer any of them, because it wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. They chose Melanie. They chose to lie. They chose to smile in my face and reroute the gift I had given them, then post about it as if I didn't exist. Now, they were watching me exist without them. At work, I'd just been promoted to senior project coordinator. My photo went up on the firm's website. An online business journal reached out to do a small piece on rising women in corporate leadership. I agreed. The writer asked me if I had anyone to thank for my journey. I smiled and said, myself. I built this life without shortcuts and without applause. The article went viral in my hometown. People from school, from church, from the neighborhood, they all saw it. So did my parents. My cousin forwarded me a screenshot of my mom's Facebook comment. We're so proud of our daughter. She's always been so independent. I laughed out loud. Then I reported the comment for impersonation. It was taken down. That weekend, I hosted a dinner party with friends. No relatives, no family drama. We ate well. We toasted new beginnings. Someone joked, "Imagine your parents seeing this right now." I smiled and said, "They probably are," because I knew. They weren't reaching out because they missed me. They were watching me rise and realizing they're not invited to the view. I haven't spoken to them since. No calls, no birthdays, no apologies. People still ask, "But they're your parents. Don't you miss them?" And I always answer the same way. I miss the version of them I thought existed, the version that never made it to the airport. They took the vacation, posted the photos, laughed while I stood on the curb, holding a trip they didn't earn. They thought I would move on, but I didn't move on. I moved up. I now travel often, but never with them. Paris, Rome, Budapest, Tokyo. Every time I'm somewhere new, I take a photo at sunset. I write one line beneath it. This one's for the version of me you tried to forget. Last month, I finally removed their numbers from my emergency contact list, updated my will, reassigned everything. My legacy, my resources, my peace will never pass through the hands of people who traded my love for convenience. They took my trip. Now they watch my life. From outside the gate, there are no boarding passes left for them, and no arrival times, just silence, and the soft click of a door that no longer opens. You are not alone, and you are so much stronger than you think. Tap that subscribe button to join Twisted Justice, where we share tales that heal, inspire, and remind you that even the deepest heartbreak can lead to the most beautiful new beginning. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that revenge isn't always about getting even. Sometimes it's just about getting better.